Welcome back, gang. You have made it. Today is graduation day. Can you believe it? We are now to our final secret in my little black book of homeschooling secrets, secret number 19. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I am so proud of you for following through, sticking with it, and really embracing all of the amazing gifts and opportunities that are available to you and your family by becoming a homeschooling family. Whether you did it on purpose, whether it's part of the pandemic, whether it's temporary, whether it's permanent or long-term, it doesn't matter. If you really embrace this as the gift that it is, it can impact your family and benefit you, and you can all benefit from this time of learning together for years and years to come. So, secret number 19, give yourself permission to pivot. Now, this may sound like it's a little bit in contrast or in conflict to yesterday's secret, which is consistency is key. So I want to be very clear as I'm explaining this to you so that you understand how the two are actually like bread and butter, peanut butter and jelly. They absolutely go together. There is no conflict with them whatsoever. So give yourself permission to pivot. What does this mean? You know, there is a rule of nature. The only thing that never changes is the fact that there is always change. Okay? So there's no such thing as staying the same. We're either moving forward or we're moving backward. We're either growing or we're dying. There is no static existence in the world. And for sure, that's the case with your family. Your kids are growing, your jobs change, your home changes, you know, finances change, climate change, pandemics happen. Things are always changing. So as humans, we have to get used to, you know, an ebb and flow of life. That is very natural. And as these you know, bumps and hiccups and hills and valleys and mountains come along, we have to feel confident, competent, and capable of navigating these curves of life. Now, if we had a very rocky, unstable, traumatic childhood, it can be very, very hard for us to deal with change. If we had a very stable, you know, iconic family life as children, then change doesn't seem so weird. Okay, and it doesn't seem so hard to handle. So when you're looking at your own children, you have to ask yourself, how do they handle change? Has it been pretty even keel and steady for them, or has there been a lot of change so that change freaks them out? You, as the captain of your ship and the leader of your family, will be able to answer that for your own family. And honestly, it might vary for different children, and that's okay. But as you're looking at navigating these changes, it's your privilege and your responsibility to always be asking ourselves, what is the best for my kids? What is the best for me? What is the best for our family? And how can we create a win-win-win situation? You know, I am such a believer that in today's day and age, the world is so elevated and so evolved that we do not have to live in a world of competition where for you to win, it means that I have to lose, or vice versa. I can see it everywhere around me that we live in an era of collaboration, which means that we can work together and collaborate instead of fighting and competing against one another. So that means that there is a way to create a win-win-win situation. My kids can win, I can win, and the whole family can win all together. So how do we do that? Well, everything you've learned in the book up till now sets you up for that. You start with why. You start with the end in mind. You reverse engineer. You are asking yourselves the questions. You're troubleshooting. You're brainstorming. You're getting creative. You're doing all of those things that you've learned throughout the course of this book, and it really equips you with the skills and tools that you need to be able to navigate those rough waters as they come. So looking forward, you might be able to say, okay, if you know the pandemic dies down and school goes back in session, let's say in September, then you're going to ask yourself, do I feel comfortable and confident with the school system? Do I feel comfortable and confident that my kids are going to be safe and healthy? Do I trust XYZ, whatever the case is? Or do I feel more confident in managing their education myself? Okay, whatever that case may be, however you're going to answer that question is fine, perfectly fine. Okay, but as you're, and then the year after that, something else, the year after that, something else, and maybe it's going to be with homeschooling, maybe it's going to be with traditional schooling, but you have to feel like you are in the driver's seat, that you are not in the passenger seat. You're not just along for the ride having to put up with, you know, whatever flows your way. So as long as you maintain that position in the driver's seat, you can pivot at any turn. Pivot means to change direction, to reposition yourself, to rebound. So for example, right now during the pandemic, a lot of people had to pivot. So clearly going from traditional school to homeschooling, well, that's a massive pivot that you didn't choose. It was forced upon you. Okay, some people, I'll give you an example. I've got some entrepreneur friends and they were in businesses that totally tanked with the lockdown. So they very quickly pivoted and looked for, what does the world need? How can I help? How can I add value? How can I be of service? And how can I do it in a way that also brings home income to my family? And within a matter of a few weeks, they had completely pivoted themselves to where they were now able to leverage the lockdown, and they were able to make money by adding value. That was a massive pivot. Okay, so when I was looking at mainstream schools and seeing what was happening there with my son, and I really wasn't happy with them, and I chose to do online schooling and a little bit of creative schooling here and there, those were pivots for our family to constantly be looking at what is best. What is best for the long term? What is best for the short term? And do I, as the captain of our ship, feel confident, competent, qualified, and capable to navigate our family through those waters? So do not feel like whatever decision that you make, you're married to it forever. That is not the case. If you go in one direction and you make a decision and you've tried it out for 2, 3, 4 months, long enough that you can say, we really gave this a really, really great shot, and for whatever reason it just doesn't work, don't feel like you have to stay stuck there. Okay, say, you know what, it didn't work, it's a sunk cost, we're going to go in this direction instead, we're going to try something else. Now, of course, we balance that by not trying something different every 30 seconds, every 2 minutes. We want to give it a chance to work. We want to give our family a chance to acclimate. We want to give us a chance for the newness to wear off and a rhythm and a flow and an energy to set in with whatever it is, whether it's a new sport or a new instrument or a new topic that we're learning, whatever the case may be. Also, of course, with homeschooling. So even within homeschooling, maybe you tried one homeschooling program, you're like, oh, that totally did not work. Maybe you tried to do some co-oping and you weren't really thrilled with that group. Whatever the case may be, you are in the driver's seat. And so long as you are constantly looking at the big picture, evaluating my kids, my spouse, our family unit, myself, what is going to allow all of us not just to survive, but to thrive, I promise you, you don't have to live in fear of making the wrong decision. You will intuitively be able to feel your way, and you can always reach out for support groups or look for mentors and advice and guidance along the way. The best advice that I can give you about seeking advice is only take advice from people that you would be willing to trade places with. Now, you may not want to trade places with their whole life, but at least in that one area where you're asking for their guidance, make sure that they're living the lesson, that they're walking in the shoes of integrity, and that you feel that they can speak in good faith because you see their results. You see that they are living as an amazing outcome from this advice that they are giving you. So give yourself permission to pivot. Don't worry about making the wrong decisions, and realize that if your family feels safe and loved and secure and whole together, then you're in this together, and you can all weather a few bumps here and there together along the way. I am so proud of everything that you have done so far. You have worked so hard. You have spent so much time learning and researching and investigating and brainstorming about your family and really digging deeper to create success for your family. And I promise you it is going to pay off. If there's anything that I can do to help you with the next steps, please let me know. If you'd like some help with customizing your schedule and really implementing it and putting it along the way, then we've got some tools and resources to help you with that as well. Please let me know how we can be of service to you. We really are in this together. I'm so excited for you and your family, and I can't wait to hear about your journey along the way. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. It truly is an honor. Love you guys. Bye for now.